Fuck.
Cage triggered.
One enemy remaining.
One long, last was long.
Spike.
While the Vandal has versatility, the Phantom offers something else: consistency. I've already made a Vandal guide, so there will be a bit more comparisons in this video. We're going to only skim over the stats so you guys don't get bored and only focus on what's different from the Vandal. The Phantom has 660 RPM, or 11 RPS, which is 75 more RPM than the Vandal. I will not go into detail right now, but the stat is important, so keep it in mind. There is less spread for the Phantom compared to the Vandal, which means that it has slightly better spray and first shot accuracy. The Phantom has 30 bullets per mag and 120 bullets in total. This allows you to spam both smokes and walls a lot better than a Vandal would. Since you have a silencer, you also get the added benefit of your bullet tracers being hidden while you are spamming through smoke. This can come in very handy in many situations. I'm going to show you a quick example of why spamming with Vandal is a bit risky. I do have a Vandal in this clip, but that's besides the point. The enemy also has a Vandal and I'm going to use that to my advantage. I am playing Killjoy in a post-plan situation and the second kill I get is only possible because I used the tracers from the enemy Vandal to find out where he is. Since I had a Vandal, the enemy could have done the same thing to me. Thankfully they didn't, but if I had a Phantom, the whole play would have been a lot more safer, because those tracers wouldn't show up on their screen at all, and the whole play would be basically guaranteed. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Unfortunately, the Phantom is not a one-hit headshot beyond 15 meters, and that's where the legendary lead for 140 spray has been born. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter. Even if the enemy has a Vandal, if you're the one that gets the first shot off, you will win the gunfight 90% of the time, because of the aim punch that results from being dinged. In case you didn't know, aim punch is a game mechanic where your screen shakes if you get dinged. That mechanic alone is enough to make Phantom a decent weapon even at long range. And I hope you did keep in mind what I said earlier. The Phantom has a significantly higher fire rate than the Vandal, which means that if both of you fire at the same time, but you hit and it doesn't, it's pretty much guaranteed that you're going to kill him as long as you don't whiff out your next shot. Sadly, there are no minimum kill times available on the Wikipedia, but I'm gonna keep things more simple and instead I will not show you specific numbers, and I'll just tell you where the gun kills faster or slower than the Vandal. Except for headshots, which are obviously one-hit kills for both weapons, the Phantom will always kill the enemy faster than the Vandal as long as the distance does not exceed 15 meters. Beyond 15 meters, however, the Vandal will win every single time by a significant margin. If the enemy hits a headshot, you obviously just die. There is nothing like maybe he misses the second shot that is possible on the Phantom. But even if you are just spraying the body, the Vandal will still kill faster. It does a lot more damage, so the extra fire rate from the Phantom does not help that much. And beyond 30 meters there is just no hope unless you double ding the enemy basically. So stats wise the Vandal is completely dominating Phantom beyond 15 meters. That's until you combine the more forgiving spread with the faster recovery rate that the Phantom offers. This means two things. Since the spread is more forgiving, your spray will be a lot more consistent. This is why I call the Phantom the most consistent weapon in the game. It doesn't have that much spread to mess it up, and combining that with a significantly faster recoil reset timer, it makes bursting with the Phantom really nice. It makes even spraying quite good, although I still recommend that just like on the Vandal you focus more on bursting. A huge plus that the Phantom has is that you can move a lot more between shots that you take, and you can also be faster with your movement. While playing the Phantom you can have a nice motion of shoot, move, stop, repeat. Even if you do like the one-shot capabilities, you will be able to move more, which means that you're harder to hit, which is a thing you should consider. Let's talk about practicing. People like to say that Phantom is easier than the Vandal, and they're not technically wrong considering that the gun is just so much more consistent, but it actually has a much higher peak than people give credit for, and that's all because of the shoot, move, stop, repeat motion that I've mentioned earlier, which we're just going to call AD-AD from now on. I want to keep things simple, so let's break down the Phantom using two categories. The first one being closer than 15 meters. There is nothing special that you need to do. You can just act like the gun is a Vandal with a higher fire rate and, you know, that's basically all you need to know. And the spray being more consistent. I've already made a video about the Vandal, so I've got you covered. Beyond 15 meters, however, is when the gun becomes a bit more difficult to use. Again, it's not about the gun itself, it's about the movement techniques, aka AD-AD, which needs to be refined in order to reach the maximum potential. So basically, if you want to become a master at Phantom, you need to become a master at movement first. I already got a video on movement, so check the top right corner of the video, there's a card that will bring you there. You already have good movement though? Okay, great, let's move on. Before mastering AD-AD, you need to first master the burst you're going to use. I recommend you shoot 2 to 3 bullets, no more no less. These bullets are lasers. You barely need to pull down for the third bullet. a movement that's so slight that higher sensitivities might pull too hard sometimes by accident. In order to practice both AD and bursting, I recommend that you go fight my arch nemesis, the wall. Again, you need to shoot, move, stop, shoot, move, stop. Repeat that until it's muscle memory. For now I recommend that you do this for like 10 minutes a day. After you get used to it, you can do it for like 2 minutes a day. After you're done shooting a wall, you can hop into deathmatch and do the same thing, but try to do it behind the corners so you expose yourself as little as possible. Sometimes you'll be forced to do it both in the open and behind corners. That's why it's good to practice both on the wall and in the air. In real games, most of the time you will AD around corners, that's why you don't want to expose yourself, but sometimes you need to do it in the open as well. Also, even if the Phantom is still good after 15 meters, its peak performance can be only achieved in close range fights, where literally no other rifle can compete with it. You mainly want to use the Phantom on maps like Split, Heaven, Bind, where you can easily control the distance where you engage fights at, and avoid it on long range maps such as Icebox and Breeze. By the way, if you are playing agents like Jett or Raze that can close gaps really fast, the Phantom might quickly become your favorite gun in the game. If you're really struggling with movement, then picking up Phantom might also prove as a good practice. This leads me to the last thing I want to say, and probably the most important one. Everything that I've said up until now has been objective uses of both guns, the Vandal and the Phantom. But I'll be honest with you. At the end of the day, what matters most is that the weapon fits your playstyle. Picking up gun based on map and spots you play can totally be viable if you are really a versatile player, sure. But if you are clearly struggling with one of those two weapons, maybe you should wait a little bit, improve yourself, and only then try to master both weapons. Taking things one at a time, it's a lot better and a lot more efficient than just trying to master everything at once. Thank you for watching, I hope you have a wonderful day.